Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Python with Friends. This week, we're going to start with Pandas. If you want to do anything in data analysis, data science, you will need to know your way around handling Pandas and so on. So we're going to start today's video with how to play around with a little bit of Pandas from Python and all that. So what we're going to do now is to go right up to our colab and let's see what we have. We are presently in our colab and we're just going to open a new cell here. So what I've done here, I've enlarged my screen so that you can see everything. So we're going to change the name here to Intro to Pandas. Introduction to Pandas. And there's this thing about working with colab, especially Pandas. When you're using Pandas in colab, it's not like the past where we just write codes. We're going to write codes here too, but we'll usually have to work with some files, and we have to learn how to upload those files. So we'll start with that. So what I will expect you to do, this will be one of your assignments. You open a new page on colab, give it a new name, then connect your instance with your drive. And this is what you do. If you just look on your left lower panel, this is the left, I'm sure. This is the lower part. You see something like a folder. You click on it. Once you've clicked on it, you wait for it to load. It has loaded. Then you click on this. This is the symbol that tells you want to connect. So what it says is permit this notebook to access your Google Drive files. And that's what I wanted to do. And I connect it and I wait for it. You're going to see something pop up here. You can see it's telling us that it's mounting Google Drive. And within a short while, good, you can see the drive has been mounted. And then when you click to open, you just see different files, different folders. Now, this is the part I want you to concentrate on, this My Drive. Forget every other thing, just concentrate here. Now, what I want to do is I want to upload some files that I have on my desktop. So I'll go back to my drive here because that's what I'm interested in. I'll create a new folder. Here, it says create new folder. And I'll say Intro to Pandas. That's just the name I want to use. And it is here. Now, what I want to do now is to upload the files on my desktop. You can see these 3 vertical ellipses here, 1, 2, 3. You click on them and you see selection. I want to upload this time around, and they are on my desktop. I don't know how far you can see. I hope it is showing everything. I go to my desktop and I know the name I kept them. I stored them with, they're in a folder called Python with Friends. So I want all these files to be uploaded into the new folder I created on colab. You can just select all of them and click open, and I'll wait for them to load. Yep, you can say okay to that, and here they are loading up and they're done. I have already loaded them in. They're in this folder here called intro to Pandas. So this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to import Pandas because when you're working with Python, if you need certain libraries, like I need Pandas as a library, I have to import that library into my notebook, into the instance I'm working with. So I have to just type import Pandas. And the thing here is usually when you import a library, you give it an alias, right? You give it an alias, and you can see we're already getting some type hints here. Usually everybody tends to import Pandas as PD. And then I have to run it. PD is short for Pandas. You can choose to put any other name you like. You can put your name. But because most of the time when you're working with Python, you'll be working with other people. You'll need to collaborate. So you need to use simple terms that they would know. And for some reason, many people have been using Pandas as PD. I see no reason why I should change it. Now, what I want to do is I want to see which directory I'm working on. So I just type PWD, it means present working directory. This is where I am. I need my notebook to be attached to be in the same folder. I need my notebook to be in the same folder with all the files I want to upload. But because I'm using my colab, it is not in the same folder. So I'll teach you a very simple way to do that. What I'll do here, I'll come here, I'll right click on it, and it's going to say copy path. So I can just say path 1, and I'll put it in quotation marks, and I've installed that, and I'll run that. Now, what I can do is I can close this one. We can see from this path that it leads us to a txt file. That is where it's taking us to, a txt file. So we want to read what are the contents of that txt file. Now, if you don't know how to read any file you have in Pandas, you can always Google it. How to read txt, a text file. You can see an example here, how to read a txt file. It's the same thing when you're reading CSV. So what I need to do is I need to copy this path 2 into this place, paste it, and then I put the df like this so that when I click on it, it's going to print out what is in it. So you can see now, this is the content of the file I'm reading. I mean, I just downloaded it from this website. I don't even know what they are. Can you see that? So I can open my folder again and see what else I have. I have this. So I can, of course, right click again and copy path. And I'll call it path 2. In quotation marks, let me just clear the space here. This is an SAV file. This must be SPSS. So again, I can just Google and ask, how to read SPSS files? How to read SPSS files? Sorry, let me do this. How to read SPSS files in Pandas. It is read SPSS. So at the same time, I copy it. And go back to where my files are. I can leave this as it is. Then I have to put path. This is path to serve file. You can see it here. You can just remove that because they're telling me where to put. I've already I've created a variable here and stored the path in it. I call it path2. So I just go and do a df. It's telling me that, read says, this is not, I know my mistake. I didn't put PD here, the alias for pandas. So it doesn't know how to read it. Now I'm trying to read it, still giving me errors. Why? Why is it giving me errors? Anyway, I downloaded this file from the internet, so I don't even know. Okay, what they're telling me here is that I have a missing optional dependency in this, so I have to install it here. So they say I should use pip or conda install, so I'll do that. Sometimes that happens, you need to install stuff. I'm going to get rid of all of this and leave only pip install. Now run it. It is saying already satisfied. I have installed it, and I'll come back here again. I'll read the file. Done. Like I said, I actually don't know. I just downloaded this data from a web page. I don't even know. I just Googled it and I saw it and I just downloaded it. I don't even know what the data is, but it looks like it's some kind of, what would that be? Maybe they went for a survey somewhere and these are the questions, the answers. These are strongly agree, strongly disagree, so on and so forth. Gender, male, female, female, male, and all that. Alrighty. So we have read this file. Time to move to the next file. And this looks like a CSV file. All I just have to do is to copy path and get rid of this. This will be my path 3. So of course I'll say df equals to pd dot. I mean, for me, this is what I do the most. Path 3. I do read CSV more than any other thing. I've only done SPSS once. Today might be the second time I'm doing it. So here we are. It's a file my professor sent to me. I'm even owing him a project. I'm still working on it. I'll still submit it. So this is one of the files he sent to me. And from what I can see here, I mean, I know what's supposed to be on the file. It's the open, high, low, close data for some sort of market data. Like, yeah, this is a SPY. So this is a S&P 500. This is a 1 minute data. because I took a course on algorithmic trading last year, and I'm supposed to run up this year with a project. So this is one of the files he sent to me. Anyway, let's move ahead. We have done this. This is XLX. So this must be Excel. So we copy path again. And we call it path 4, just so that we can separate them. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, pd.read Excel is how to read Excel. I put path, where I get to some type hints. 4. I made a mistake. Instead of putting 4, I made it 3. So let me just go ahead. Doesn't matter. So as usual, this is a piece of file I found online. I don't even know what was inside. I'm opening it for the first time, and I can see that it contains, I don't know, probably sales data. They call it sample data, so I'm sure they wanted to use it for something, but it's in an Excel format. Usually you can open your CSV files with Excel, but if you want to read CSV files, even if they were stored in Excel, you need to save them as CSV. But this file was not saved as CSV. So if you try to read it with CSV, it's not going to read. It's an Excel file. You have to say read Excel as opposed to read CSV. Even though you use Excel to read CSV files, you also use your notepad or also notepad on your computer to also read CSV files. You also use them to read TXT files or text files. Let's go on. Another way you can, this is DTA. You can read another file. This is a DTA file, and that should be SATA. I'm sure one of you said he works with SATA. Anyway, let's copy. Is it SATA or STATA? STATA, right? Let's copy the path. And I hope I don't make any mistakes now. I need to put it path 4. Again, I've never opened any file that has the extension DTA, but I could just check it here. How to open DTA files in Pandas. Is there any way to do that? Stata file, stata. So this is stata, right? Oops. Apparently here, there's a whole lot of tutorials on how to do just that. I just stumbled upon this. So it's not like I have everything in my head. This one reads it differently. It is asking me to install another library, PyRead-stat. But I don't know why I have a feeling I could do that with Pandas directly. So let me just check, just to be sure. You can see read Excel here. This is the Pandas documentation. It's very good to once in a while check these documentations, because you tend to forget, well, I tend to forget most of what I read. So if I'm tackling a problem, I just go around checking. Let's see. Read HDF, this is another kind of file format. Let's see. The SAS here, there's SPSS. Let's see if this, clicking on this would help us. Maybe we don't have a way to read starter. If we don't, aha, I knew we had it. Read, so just pandas.read starter or starter. I don't know how it's called. So again, you say df equals pandas.read starter and you open path 4. Now we have to change this to PD because remember when we imported pandas, we imported this as PD. So instead of writing the whole pandas, we just write the alias. Again, df. Like I said, I actually don't know what these files contained. I just downloaded them a couple of minutes ago in preparation for this video, just to show you different ways to open different files. I've never read a starter file in my life. I don't even know what the program looks like. But you can see how I was going from page to page trying to say, okay, how do I open this file? So the solutions are online. Once you're connected to the internet, you always have all the solutions waiting for you. This is awesome. Another way to get data, if you don't have them on your desktop that you had to upload to your drive just to have access to it via your Colab, you could also go to a site called GitHub. And so let me type it here. GitHub, you can see I'm always going there. I actually have a page myself, but I don't have it here on this browser I'm using. So I'll just go in. You should create an account there. So I'm just searching for some kind of data. I have a data set in mind, but if you don't have, just do a search. It might take you here. So I'm doing a search for ride sharing, and I'll search the whole of GitHub. And all of these people have what we call repositories, whereby they have stored some kind of data that has to do with ride sharing. I could start picking from top to bottom, but I don't know. Where am I? I have to cheat a bit. So this person here has something on ride sharing. I think she's also working. This is a statistics course. And usually they will store everything in the folder called data. So I'm checking this part to see. I don't actually know what is inside here. You and I are going to see it for the first time together. Well, some bunch of gibberish. So if I want to copy this, what I would do is I'll come to this place called raw. And you can see this is like raw data of sorts. And so what we do is we copy the URL here. I'll move straight to our notebook. Then let's say we put path 5 or path 6, because I mistakenly skipped one. I might share this notebook, but I'm going to correct it. I'm going to make the correction as path 1, path 2, path 3, path 4. So this is the URL, and I just call it path. I can call it URL if I want. This is just a variable name, and I chose path 6 just to be consistent with what we've been doing. And so I can run this, and I can see that it is a CSV file. So I'm going to do df equals pd.read_CSV. Sorry. Then I put my path 6 here, and I ask it to show me, display it so that I can see what I'm working with. So this is my the data I got, the data set. If I want to know more about the data set, I can see df.info. And it's going to tell me about the data set. I can see here that we have this is like 10,886 entries. Remember that Pandas indexes from 0, not from 1. So this is the address, sort of. This is how you locate everything using the indexing. If you remember how we use indexing when we're dealing with lists, if you just remember that, you can just move that as we work with Pandas because it's similar, just a bit different, but it's a bit similar. I don't know why I made that noise. Hope it's not a crash. Hope everybody outside is okay. Anyway, so what this is telling us is, this line is telling us how many entries are complete, because sometimes you get data that's so dirty that the entries are not complete. So already here we know we have 10,886 entries, and we are seeing this here. It's telling us the entries are all complete. All the entries were made, as it were. There's no entry that's missing. And then this D type is telling us what type of entries they are. So these 10,000 entries are objects. Objects can be anything, right? Can be strings, can be categories. Then for season, the 10,886 entries here are all integers. Integers, so you can see it's int 64. Same with holiday, same with working day, same with weather. But for temperature, all the 10,886 entries were all made of float. Humidity is an integer, wind speed is a float, casual is integer, registered is an integer also, and then the count, whatever that means, whatever they were counting, is also an integer. So this is just, I don't know, tip of the iceberg of what you can do with Excel. We were just trying to upload data. So you can use data from GitHub. Just go to GitHub, type anybody's name. Just type any data set you know, and anybody who has it will have it. You may have to do a little bit of search. I cheated a bit because I had gone to that site and I've seen what the lady has. And that was why I was able to pull out. But you could also do something else. This is, like I said, this is this browser. I don't have my GitHub installed here. So you can just, my username is the African Quant. Let's go here, and this is how I spell it, the African Quant, the whole of GitHub, and this is my repo. And you can click open and just come here to my landing page, and you can see my picture. And you can see what I'm working on. I need to update my landing page because I've done quite a few more things that are not here. And if you want to see my repos where I keep all my data, you can just click on that and see what I have, right? Well, I work mostly on market data. So maybe from name the African Quant, you will know what my interests are, where they lie. And you can see some of the things I have. Some I got from other people, but most of them are mine. This is mine. If it's forked from somebody's own, you'll see it here. I got this from here. But this, there's no indication that I forked it. So it's mine, right? You can open it and see. And these are just my IPython notebooks. There's no data. It's a bit not organized, as it were. If it was organized, I would have had a separate folder somewhere for data. But apparently here, I didn't even keep any of my data where I got my sources from. And I should try not to make this video to be too long because we promise that our videos will be short. Yeah, so Yeah, I think I'm just playing with some latex. If you're doing some graduate studies, you need to know a bit of latex. So I'm sure I was testing how to use latex on colab or something. It was a long time ago. I can't remember when I was still doing my MSc, which was just last year, not so long ago. But you know, you do so many things, you can't remember everything. But this is one of it. So just go to GitHub, search for any data you want: health, cancer, mosquitoes, malaria. This is all I have for you today. I wish you happy coding. Ciao, ciao.